Come out. Your sentence has been decided.
Sentence? Don't you mean execution?
Really now, what person would execute a dear friend?
You would.
Hey guys.
Hey Alex.
Hello.
Do you know who they booked for the wedding? They didn't book anybody. They didn't get any music. This place sucks.
Yeah, what the fuck? Well, I mean, they did. The band already took
They did for the first one.
Yeah, for the first one, the band already played it, and then they were like, "Hey, we're gonna have another wedding. This time it won't get ruined. And we already paid for you guys, so you have to play this one too." And the musicians were like, "Fuck that!
You mean we have to pay?
We'll be at the Macalania Woods, motherfucker. No way. I got butterflies to hang out
No
with."
pay, no drink tickets, nothing.
Yeah, Seymour went up to them and was just like, "Look, I'm kind of a big deal in Spira. This is going to be a good gig for you. I'm not going to pay you. You don't get any drink tickets. You actually have to sell like 50 tickets to play this, but you're going to get a lot of exposure for this." So, and then the exposure he meant was summoning anima or whatever and just blasting them all away until they were like goo or whatever.
That and there is no shade at the top of Bevelle Temple. Just all open air exposed.
Yeah, but speaking of... oh, wait, I guess we should... You want to introduce the show? It's a new year. It's been a while since we recorded, so we're a little rusty.
Yeah, the last recording was a bit ago.
You know that thing Carl said was going to happen? It happened,
It
baby.
happened, and we all know about it, and now we can just move on and forget about it. Just like we forgot about all the fun tragedies of 2020 and just moved on with life.
The new calm is here.
New year, new me.
Oh, God. New year, new me, new Cloister trials.
Oh, God.
We're starting the year off wrong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was telling the guys off of recording that, like, my last save file was from like a couple of weeks ago, just because we had a couple of episodes banged up, and immediately just jumping into this Cloister just had me being like, I was like missing playing Final Fantasy X, and like, and then I started playing this. I was like, God fucking damn it, this sucks.
You know what? If I was smart, you know what I would have done?
What's that?
I would have said, "This is the Every F and FF podcast. I'm Curtis.
I'm Carl.
I'm Alex."
I was hoping you were going to say that, Curtis, because I was like, that would be a good way to do the thing that we haven't done yet. It's been 15 minutes of recording.
One of these days, we're just going to introduce After Break.
One of these days, Alice, one of these days, I'm going to introduce this podcast.
Yeah, it'll be like an extended cold open in like Breaking Bad, where it's like a good chunk of episode where a lot of
45 minutes, they haven't even showed the credits yet.
This podcast is great, and all I did was say my name. Thrill House.
You have to get 4 hours into the game until the main character says, "This truly is a near automata."
This truly is the Dark Soul. No, I'm kidding. Dark Souls. They say Dark Souls almost like immediately in the first cutscene.
Hello, welcome to Dark Souls.
Hi there. I'm Jonathan Dark Soul, and welcome to my game. I hope you enjoy your time here in the Dark Souls.
The Dark Souls Hotel.
Anyway, Happy New Year, guys.
Oh, Happy New Year's. Yeah, we haven't even seen each other this year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, happy birthday, Carl.
Happy birthday to my girlfriend, whose birthday is the day after mine.
Ooh.
Oh,
so close.
I know. So that's how you know you're not siblings.
Yeah, exactly.
That means I can get you both just one present that you have to share.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a Christmas present. And then that covers everything.
But so we're in Bevelle, I guess. We just ran away from this wedding with no one on our tails.
Yeah, we learned that Yuna has a new superpower. She can fly.
Yeah, right. Yeah. She is the
We would have gotten here a lot faster if she told us that earlier. Gandalf energy.
Yeah, when Titus was hanging off of the ledge and said, "Fly, you fools," he meant that literally. Like, take the fucking eagles and fly to Bevelle to get to the Chamber of the Faith so that you don't have to do all this other shit. But we didn't
Yeah.
listen to him, so we are finally there. We finally made it.
Yeah, we're finally at the entrance to the Temple of Bevelle. So this is an interesting one because like all of the other temples, right? We enter them all from the front, but this one like we like landed on top of Bevelle, right? So I would assume that you have to like go through the temple to get to this point. But luckily, I guess this is also the entrance to the Cloister of Trials, so it all just happens to work out really well.
Yeah.
They just put it
Lucky
at the
us.
top of like the Rockefeller Tower, where like this is a hot tourist attraction.
There's an ice rink right outside.
While you're here, try your hand at the Cloister of Trials. You get all the way through and you get like a stuffed plushie. It's good shit.
Hell yeah. I wish. I mean, well, no, I was going to say that could probably happen if Lulu had a weapon in here that she could get.
We need to start, actually, before we go any further, we have to start.
An amendment.
We have to start with the corrections portion of
hell
the
yeah.
podcast.
Everything we've said is wrong.
Mr. Swansig pointed out something very, very important on the Discord server. In the scene where all of the characters are Sonic Adventure 2 battle, grinding their way down those chains,
the speed
Lulu is in that cutscene, as a
Oh,
matter
shit.
of fact. She's being carried by Kumari.
Whoa, I got to go back to my screenshot now. That's incredible. Hell yeah.
I didn't even notice. It goes by so quickly.
Gentleman Kimari.
What a gentleman.
That's so good. I also love that Waka just looks like he's doing it in like Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force's flip-flops.
He's got his like surfboard wax, just waxing up his flip flops.
Surf Wax America is now just playing in my head. Anyway, so
Anyway.
there's a weird entrance to this this Cloister of Trial on our way to the Chamber of the Faith, where it's
Yeah.
like I don't get the utility of this other than to maybe show like the Machina status of Bevelle, which
It's kind of weird, isn't it? Like,
yeah, like there's like
Machina
it's
is
basically
outlawed.
Like, it's for the tourists who have their little radio thing, like when you're at the museums and stuff.
Oh
It
yeah,
has,
yeah. It's a Walkman.
You hear Keenock narrating like, "Welcome to the historical Bevelle Temple. If you look around,
I'm Keenock.
yeah, it's the one where you dial in the number."
You may remember me from such war crimes as, fuck, what's the name of it? The Battle at
Project
Meehan.
Meehan.
Project
Operation
Meehan.
Meehan.
It's like, geez.
Project Me and whatever.
Project Meehan. That's going to be our band. But anyway, yeah, there's like a weird like console that's around this like this staircase that I think that like everyone kind of walks in and Lulu says,
It's too quiet. A trap?
Who cares? Yuna's waiting for us.
and Riku's
Yeah.
like, huh? And Riku just goes up to this console and starts like punching in stuff on the keys or whatever. And Waka says,
It's because she's the youngest. She can't like devices are her vice, you know.
yeah, of course.
She can't stop looking at them
like-
screens.
Stop looking at the iPad. We're trying to have a family moment here.
It's like, what games does this have?
Trying to play some Flappy Bird. But Waka brings up a good question. He says, what's a Machina doing in this temple? And Riku says, I suppose it comes in handy.
That's not what I mean. The teachings. What about the teachings?
And Riku's
Yeah, she's
just
like, hey, don't look at me.
Yeah, and then as she activates it, like, all of the stairs, like...
They become like a slide, like a fucking like goofy horror movie where like all the stairs turn into a slide and you can't get out.
Yeah,
It plays
except
through
for
it.
like there's like a portion of like 4 stairs. And
Yeah,
like
that
that's
remain.
where we're standing on, and it just like teleports us down or like slides us down, or maybe it's like
Yeah. Yeah, it's
I
like
don't
the 4
understand how this
stairs.
works, honestly.
Yeah, it's like the whole all the stairs turn into a slide, except for like the 3 or 4 stairs we're standing on that become a platform that revolve around the these circular stairs and carry us down to the bottom.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's very odd.
It's
That
ve-
didn't happen to me.
Really? I think it's like
I just walked down.
so
Did you just walk down?
Yeah,
You fool.
I did the cutscene and was like, all right, I'm just
Yeah, I
gonna
think you
keep
have to
going.
talk to the console again.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
maybe you have to hit the console and then you do that. Yeah, so it's extremely weird because like the obvious like analogy to this would be like, oh, it's like an escalator, but it's not really like an escalator. Like there's just 4 stairs that's like just stay like completely the same, and then all the other ones like kind of disappear, and then you like roll down them all the way down the spiral.
Yeah.
So you make it down there, and then we're just like right outside.
It's like the luggage carousel at the airport, I guess.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in this episode, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
But when I got to the bottom, I actually kind of did the same thing. I'm like, wait, that's a little weird. Like, let me see if I can go back up. And I walked all the way back up, and then I was like, oh, there's no reason to do that. And then I just like took the ride and whee!
Yeah, but once we get to the bottom, there's like a little like energy gate, like a little energy field that's barring us from going any further, with another panel in front of it. And Riku goes up to that one, and Waka says, "Another Machina, man." And Arn's like, "So this is Yevon's true face. They betray their own teachings." And even Waka's just like, "Oh, they treated us like dirt."
Yeah,
So,
maybe
like,
some realization finally happening for Waka.
I know. I feel like Waka's finally starting to come around a little bit and like realize like that not everything is exactly as it seems.
He's like, I could have been playing Game Boy this whole time. God damn it.
But yeah, so we're like pretty far down into like the belly of this area right now. And like I really like the architecture in here, I have to say. Like it's very fantasy and wondrous. It's like
It's
a
wet.
weird fantasy cathedral. You say it's wet?
Yeah, there's lots of tubes full of water.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say like
It's probably where the
stylistically-
waterfall comes from, you know? Like at the top,
Oh,
there's probably
maybe
maybe they're just pumping water up.
It very well could be.
Oh yeah,
that
that's a good point.
as far as I'm concerned, that is fact now.
Yeah.
So
Weird thing that I'm noticing in the screenshot that I didn't notice before, in the top like left corner, like beyond the stairs, it looks like it's in an area that we're not able to access at all. There's like two spheres. Like they look like Jex spheres or like the Albed like translator spheres. Do you guys see what I mean?
Oh yeah, there's blue orbs everywhere. There's blue accents every
Yeah, I
which
think it's
way.
just like set dressing of just being like, oh, look at all these spheres.
Like the
because that's
banisters
how-
are all just like covered in little blue orbs. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but it looked. I'm like, shit. Did I miss something there? But it doesn't look like I actually did.
yeah,
yeah. Well,
pre-rendered, baby. Can't touch
The
it.
team mentions that like, oh, we're going to the Cloister trials. Yuna's in there. Let's go get her. A bunch of those kind of things, and we get an opportunity to save before we get into another Cloister of Trials.
And in my
And I know
experience,
that everybody
you should
loves the
save.
Cloister of Trials.
Yeah, not only does everyone love a Cloister of Trials, but this one is certainly a Cloister of Trials that you should love.
Well, I think if I'm remembering, I think it's the last mandatory one. So at least there's that.
So it means that we still have to do all the other ones.
Yeah.
That means shit to us. Optional means nothing on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we threw that out the window as soon as we played FF1 and had the optional challenge dungeons, and I was like, yo, fuck that.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Speaking of, congratulations to Neither Round to getting that gold chocobo.
Hell yeah.
They did the most fun part of the whole game. All right. So basically, once we enter the Cloister, right? I like the Cloister too because like we're clearly
don't.
in. Well, I mean the
aesthetic.
architecture of it, right?
I too really like that.
Yeah, it's like we're in a giant like grain silo or something, a large cylinder that we cannot see the top or bottom of, but it's very like dark in there. You know what I mean? Not to the point where you can't see what's going on, but like very moody.
You know what this looks like, and the first thing that I thought of, it looks like the like section of a pinball machine that the like ball like goes through, like the track that you try to get it up to like whip around and get more
It
points.
does
or
kind of
whatever.
look like that.
Yeah, so it looks like we're just in a giant pinball machine, and like we're on this weird kind of conveyor belt sort of track kind of thing that
Like a magical conveyor belt looking thing.
Oh, I
Yeah.
hate this magical conveyor belt too.
It's like
It's
neon.
Tron-ass looking, magic carpet looking.
It honestly though, I love it because looking at it, I was just like, yo, this looks like those cool carpets that were like everywhere in the 90s, like an
Oh,
arcade
yeah.
or like a skating rink or something, like
That's
a
right.
roller skating rink.
I remember, yeah. It reminds me of if y'all like went to Taco Bell in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, the aesthetic of the banners that went like around the side of the building.
Oh, hell yeah.
In terms of Cloisters, I think this is my favorite aesthetically. In terms of the
Yeah.
mechanics of it, I fucking hate it.
It's not great.
Any mechanic that like takes control from you is like the most frustrating thing ever.
If I know gamers, like I think I do, the one thing that every gamer loves is an auto scroller.
So check us out. Here's
Speaking
how,
of Flappy Bird.
So here's how this works, right? So like everybody was saying, we're on essentially a set of magical conveyor belts, right? And they intersect in different ways. And it's our job to choose the right direction to go down the conveyor belts. We do so by riding on a small platform that anytime we push a pedestal onto this magical conveyor belt, the pedestal turns into our platform to ride around on. So when we get to the end of a route, like we take a certain set of routes and we get to the end of it, the pedestal pops up and the platform becomes a pedestal again, and we can use that to do things like store spheres in to move to another area, right?
And notably, when discussing like storing spheres in it, you actually, I think, need a sphere to be able to turn it into like platform that you can ride along the conveyor belt on.
Yeah, it won't even let me push it unless there was a sphere in it, but that could just be me.
Isn't too much of a big deal, but it can kind of become a big deal.
Yeah, when you're trying to do this puzzle.
So for me, it took me like half the puzzle to realize how the actual like changing of direction worked.
If you figured it out, then please tell me.
So what you have to do is, I think, if you hit X or A, I guess in this case, just before you go over basically there's like a compass on the ground that your pedals will stop, and then it'll actually flash between the different directions you go, and you have to hit A or X when it's pointing the direction you want it to go.
Well, it works that way for two of them.
Yeah.
Other intersections, you have to time it right as you go over it and hit the right.
Yeah, it depends on
button.
the speed, like right before or right. I usually just mash it until I stop.
So this is this section. Oh my, it just drives me bonkers. So anytime that two of the conveyor belts intersect, there will be a glyph on the ground that is flashing a direction. It's kind of pointing a direction, right? And that's how you select the direction you want to go. Now, one of them, when you roll over it, it'll actually stop, and you wait until it points the way you want to go. You hit accept, and it'll shoot you off that direction. But the other ones are just...
There's the two with the mandatory turns, but you have to like time it differently. Right.
Yeah, so there's the ones that that are just flashing back and forth, right? And here's the fucking thing about them that drives me up a fucking wall is that the second level, like once you go down the first level and you're on the second one, you're going so quickly and they're flashing so slowly that even if you're just fucking mashing the accept button, you might just get a bad roll and just not be able to take them. And just so everybody knows, it's at the end of each conveyor belt is just a drop off into nothingness.
Yeah.
It's like driving in New York. It's like, I'm just trying to get off this exit, and now I'm have to loop around, I have to pay another $5 just to go over Randall Island. Before you know it, I spent $20 and I'm still have no idea where I'm going. I'm just trying to get 3 lanes over.
Yeah, that's exactly that way. It is exactly like that. It's the worst.
Yeah, and what I was kind of trying to do is, like when it's like flashing the directions, again, you're moving way faster than it's flashing. I would just try and time my presses with like confirm with when it was going the direction that I wanted to, and then not press it. But again, like Curtis said, sometimes like you could be timing stuff right, but you just got a bad roll and you just go past it.
Yeah, right.
And a super annoying one is the track that you're on at some point on it. Like you go past one that is like pointing left as the one directly after it is pointing right. So even if you're trying to time stuff, like it's not in sync and it's like opposite. Yeah. So like it makes it really hard to be like, no, I want to go right, and the only thing I can do is go left.
Right. Oh, it's very frustrating, I will say. But like all of them, we're basically trying to get if you want to, and you should, if you're trying to get to the destruction sphere and get the extra stuff, you have to basically visit every little area that the conveyors take you to in a certain order, pull spheres. And Alex has got a fucking...
How many times did you get stuck in that destruction sphere nook and had to look at fucking Titus's face as he was zoning out?
Way too many.
That's the other thing, too, is that, it takes a while to do the animation of, pushing the pedestal in and, going through the conveyors and everything. So, every time you want to attempt it, you're
this is the worst Chips Challenge level ever.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, it could be worse, right? It has all of the pieces that a game needs to be a game, but...
Could have a hall with some spikes at the end.
Yeah.
It could certainly be worse where when you fall into that nothingness, instead of just going back to the end of that that rail that you're on, it just kills you or game over so you have to load a file or something. But at the same time, this could so much easily this could be made better in that sometimes you stop on a glyph when you're in a new section and it has the thing timed for whatever reason. I still don't know why they have it this timed, but you're frozen on it and you can say, okay, I time it along with okay, I want to go forward. But even that, there was a couple of times where I fucked up, which it wasn't hard to do, but I was nope, I'm going back up to the other one and then I have to go to the end of that hallway and fall off and then start again and try to time the press, and I was just getting so frustrated.
Yeah, it's something for sure.
Why not, instead of when you're moving, instead of binding it to the confirm button on this weird clockwork thing, just hold the fucking direction you want to go in?
Yeah, right. I mean, I guess they're trying to gamify being able to turn left or right, but there are other ways to do it.
Give me a minecart level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right,
seriously.
Right. Just put the minecart run from Super Mario RPG right here. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I want to say something cursed that I just thought of, and I apologize for it. But as I was saying earlier, I had listened to They Might Be Giants Flood for the first time, and I'm just sitting here while Carl and Alex are talking, just thinking Machina Man does whatever a Machina can. Is he Al Bhed or is he against Yevon? Nobody knows. Machina Man. Anyway.
Beaconel, Constantinople.
Beaconel, Constantinople.
Beaconel. That's nobody's business but the Al Bhed.
But the Turks from Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, yeah, nice. Nice. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah, but so basically, to get through this, I actually do recommend just using a guide, because
absolutely, that's exactly what I did.
Most of the other cloisters are, like all the other cloisters, I should say, this is just kind of trial and error of let me try putting this sphere in this one. Let me try putting it in here. Let me carry, 2 at a, let me put 2 in the pedestal. Let me carry one.
This is the 15 puzzle of...
Yeah. So at first when I did it, I did not look anything up until I got the destruction sphere, and I was like, okay, that took way too long. I don't feel like going through everything to see, I don't feel like going down each hallway, turning right, doing this fucking auto scroller that I keep messing up over and over again. I'm just gonna look it up. I looked it up. I got my way to the end area. When you get to the end area, I'm not going fully into that right now, but there's 2 treasure chests. One that has an item that you would think is oh, this is the good item that you get from the destruction sphere thing, and the glyph goes off and stuff. And then I continued walking down to see what else was there, and it triggered the next cutscene, and I missed the other treasure chest. So I had to fucking do it all over again from the start.
Oh boy.
And then for the second time around, I also used a guide. But even using a guide is kind of tricky, because it's take the second compass to go right, take the sphere, turn around, start back at the start, go down this hallway, then, and it's it's not a good puzzle.
It's not great. But, what is great is the item that we actually get from the destruction sphere this time.
Yeah.
I think. It's a weapon for Kimahri called the Night Lance. And it has strength plus 3%, plus 5%, and plus 10%.
Whoa.
I was damn. You're going to be doing some damage.
Notably, it doesn't have piercing.
It doesn't. I noticed that.
Yeah, this basically changes Kimahri's battle class to be more like a Titus, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so.
Like a strength build instead of the piercing class. Which is good, because, if you have Auron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, have you guys changed weapons mid-battle at all?
Yes, a little bit here and there.
So it's free-ish in this game. It does take a turn, but it doesn't take very much of your character's turn. So in the way that an attack will set you back so many slots of turns, doing something like using an item or certain magics or changing your weapon may allow you to just move again next as well.
Yeah.
So
especially
Kimahri
if you cast
now,
haste.
Yeah, especially with haste. So I feel with Kimahri, having these different modes now where he can have more attack, or he can do piercing, you can just switch back and forth relatively free and just have him ready for any situation, depending on if you've been leveling him up, I guess.
Yeah, which I have not. He has 16 sphere levels at this point for me, and I'm like, just hold by Ultima.
Yeah, right.
I really need to just level him up though, because it's ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous at this point.
Well, after that ordeal, after that trial, you might say, we're finally allowed to do the Chamber of the Faith, and this time we've had enough of these damn rules and regulations. I'd like to see OSHA come stop me.
Yuna? Inside, maybe?
As in, like, inside the Chamber of the Faith. And, like, Titus runs up to the door, that, like, shield door, and just tries to lift it. He's like, I'm going in there. And Walker's like, whoa, hey. Yeah, and Titus says,
You can stuff your taboos!
and fucking good guy Kamari comes over and helps us lift that door.
Yeah, he just straight up deadlifts the entire thing. Like it's like
He
the final.
does.
It's like the final part of like the American Ninja Warrior, or I guess just regular Ninja Warrior like course, where they have like a 15 pound door, then a 30-pound door, then like a 100-pound door or whatever, and people have to like lift it up and go underneath it in quick succession.
Yeah.
He does that, and Titus runs in, and then we
He
get
hits the
kicked into-
buzzer, and he gets to move on to the next round of Ninja Warrior.
Exactly.
Although I noticed that the door they're trying to lift does have a good Titus-sized hole in it already that you could just hop through.
He could have just crawled through there,
easily.
yeah. The door doesn't perfectly meet the ground.
Yeah, this seemed cooler, and Kamari was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let him just struggle with this. Let's just help him
Kamari
out.
knew that Titus could like crawl in. He just didn't want us to like be
He's like, I don't want
ourselves.
to. I don't want to be here all day. Let's move this shit along. But there is a good still that happens where Kamari just kind of like has a very stern face and kind of closes his eyes, and then Titus like looks at him as this is all happening, and then Titus runs in.
Yeah,
Buff cat.
only Titus runs in. Yeah, so we're in the Chamber of Faith now. We actually get to see what the inside of one looks like.
Yeah, we get to see what's happening.
Big old glowy thing, and
Y'all remember
using-
Gushers? Like
Yes.
Gushers had the clear outside and then the juicy inside.
Oh yeah, you saying this looks like a gusher?
Well, it's conceptually a Gusher.
That's just caviar.
The forbidden
Yeah,
gusher.
so like in the middle of this room is a circular platform. And when I say in the middle of this room, really I just mean like the edges of the room are a drop off, right?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
you could not lean against the wall here.
It's cool lighting.
It is. It looks really nice. And in the
gamer
middle
lighting.
of that platform is like a translucent dome that lifts up from the ground maybe a foot or less. And like I said, it's translucent, so you can see inside of it.
Yeah, it's almost like an iris to like an eyeball. It's kind of has a slight
Yeah.
little up dip.
It does. Yeah, I see that.
It's like a contact lens.
Exactly.
And then inside of that, because like I said, it's translucent, you can see inside of it. There's encased in it like a fly in ambergris, so we can get its DNA and start a park from it or whatever.
Dino DNA.
Aeon Park.
Yeah, Aeon Park. That's the
We spared no expense.
life. Finds a way. But yeah, like
You
trapped
do plan
inside
on
of
having Aeons on your Aeon theme park, right? Hello? Is this thing on? I really do hate that man.
But yeah, like trapped within it is kind of like
It's a
looks
big
like
soap bar that you would get like you have a little prize in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's a gotcha or
Yeah, it's a bath bomb that has like a cool plastic skull inside of it because it's a goth one.
Yeah.
right.
But it's got a fucking Aeon in it, I guess.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
there's like an Aeon or like the equivalent. It's kind of like mashed up and gnarled a little bit. It looks
I
like.
thought it's like kind of like a lizard in its egg.
Oh, maybe so. Yeah.
I kind of took it as like a fetal position of like a
dragon.
dragon-esque looking Aeon.
It looks very dragon. Yeah.
Draconian.
But floating above that little dome,
It's our manager.
I was gonna say Titus' manager.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hooded boy that we see in all those cutscenes. Like he's floating over the fucking the Aeon.
He told us not to cry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Yuna's
Titus
there.
cried a lot.
Yeah,
then.
we did the exact opposite of what he asked.
We let him down.
Yeah. But Yuna's there kneeling in front of it, right? And she still has like her wedding dress on and everything. It sounds like Titus ran in, and I guess Orin came in behind him because Titus says out loud, "What's that?" And Orin says,
A faith. They join with the summoner, and together receive the Aeon. They are human souls, imprisoned in stone by ancient Yevon rites.
And actually, if you look at, like, on the next scene where it shows the Aeon encased in that substance, you can actually see, like, human body parts in it as well.
Oh,
so,
really?
like, yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah.
There's, like, a face-down dude back there. So I think it's, like... Because, like, you know, we've learned it was their soul pulled from their still living body or whatever. So I would guess it would be, like, some kind of combination of, like, a physical human form and also it's, you know, their spiritual Aeon form or whatever.
This is just magic Mako.
Yeah, yeah, right.
This is like back at Shinra.
And then...
or Mount Ebal, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. I do like that Auron has a little, like, not catty thing to say, but I think it's interesting because, like, again, like, the whole summoner's rights and, like, the Aeon thing, like, that's, like, holy shit in this world, right? Not, like, holy shit, but, like, it's very sacrosanct, right? And I like that, like, as Yuna begins to receive this Aeon, Auron just says, the dead should be allowed to rest. Yeah. So he's, like, against it. I was like, oh, Auron.
Yeah, because, I mean, this kind of, you know, portrays shit a lot differently now as well. Like, we kind of knew this leading into this, but, like, kind of seeing it and being like, oh, shit, like, you know, this puts it into a little more context where you're like, yeah, like, what the fuck? Like, these people are basically just stuck in, like, purgatory and just being like, okay, well, we need to lend our power or whatever and... become an Aeon.
And they actually go more into depth with that, but you're right. Yeah, it is like kind of a purgatory for the faith. Like they're also stuck in this endless fucking thing of like fight sin, get summoned by the summoner or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do like that the little kid or whatever, like the little ghost kid, he like flies into Yuna straight up the same way that Sephiroth flies down the hallway in the Shinra mansion scene.
Yeah, he hucks a materia at us and it hits us square in the head and then he flies into Yuna.
Dude, I love that position because it's always so fucking weird. It's just like flying perfectly horizontally, but you don't put your hands out in front of you or anything and you're looking straight down.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking person bullet. But
it's like Ralph Wiggum flying through the window or whatever.
Right, yeah. But he hits Yuna square in the chest and kind of like is absorbed into her, right? And she falls over. And then Titus picks her up and walks her back out of the cloister. Or not the cloister, the
chamber.
Yeah, cloister of the faith. Chamber of the faith. The room that we're in.
The faith hole.
The faith. Ooh la la, faith hole.
Well, as we're walking out, also we see that the Aeon dome is starting to glow a little bit too. Kind of it's flaring up. But
I can't have shellfish or my Aeon dome flares up.
But yeah, Riku, we hear Riku's voice.
Yeah, as the screen fades to black, Riku's like,
"Wait! Don't come out!"
When you're trying on clothes or something, and then you're like, no, I'm not ready yet.
Wait, don't come in.
Yeah. Yeah, don't come in. Sorry, continue.
Titus comes out anyway, and
doing what Titus always does, completely disregarding the command he was just given.
He's really bad at following instructions. And yeah, the warrior monks are all there. Like, we've probably figured they probably just followed us. They were not very far behind.
Yeah.
And yeah, Keenock is there as well.
Keenock, that Bobby Hill motherfucker.
No gun in hand, but we got plenty of soldiers.
Yeah, plenty of gunned up soldiers.
He says,
"There's the last of them. You are to stand trial."
And Auron says, "Oh, I expect it'll be a fair trial." And Keenock has a laugh and says, "Oh, of course it will." And the screen fades to black. And I like that before we go to the next scene or anything, a naming screen comes up and we get to name our new Aeon, which is Bahamut.
Never heard of him.
Scourge of the fucking seven seas and the skies, baby.
So if you have the key item that we got earlier, the rat's tail, you can give this to Bahamut and actually get a class upgrade, which is pretty good.
He rates your courage.
Yeah.
RateMyCourage.com.
But yeah, so I saw this and I was like, oh, cool. So boss fights aren't going to be as big of a problem anymore.
You know what? I forgot to nickname Bahamut. I've nicknamed every single other Aeon.
I feel like
I forgot to do him.
I feel like that's fitting though, just given that
Yeah,
it was
you're
Bahamut.
right.
See, I haven't named any Aeon yet, and I really was tempted to like name him something stupid like Waffles or something. But I just left
Come
him
to me,
Bahamut.
Waffles.
Yeah.
Okay, but we were given an option to save the game there too.
Again, yes, you should.
Yep. And then we are in a courtroom scene. Law and order, baby.
Yeah. The High Court of Yevon is now in session. Aeon-based crimes are considered especially heinous.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say? Like, what would be like the equivalent of like the SVU? Would be like the Y, yeah, YTU, the Yevon Taboo Unit, or whatever. But the screen fades up from black. We are in the courtroom, which is kind of neatly designed. It's like much like a theater. You might go see like a stage production. There's like the balcony, right, where people can stand and watch the trial. The judge or whoever else is kind of up on a platform overlooking everything. And the defendant is just in a giant fucking hole, suspended on like a tiny little...
It's a Senate seat from Star Wars.
I was just going to say,
it is,
it's where E.T.'s race of aliens are all hanging out in Star Wars Episode 1.
Senator Geatlieb.
Yeah.
That's Spielberg backwards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the screen fades up. We hear the words, "The High Court of Yevon is now in session." And as it opens up, there's a Ronzo... what do you call him? Not a minister,
Meister.
Maester. Yeah.
Meister.
Meister.
He's got a horn.
And he says,
The sacred officers of this court seek nothing but absolute truth in Yevon's name. To those on trial, believe in Yevon and speak only the truth.
and Lulu tells us that is Maester Kelk Ronzo.
I feel like that's really Lulu's biggest contribution to the whole story is just, and as soon as someone talks, like, she has to say their name.
Yeah, right.
She's the credit at the bottom of every, like, Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah. She is the narrator. But he says, Summoner Yuna, you've sworn to protect the people of Yevon, true? She answers yes. And he says, then consider, you have inflicted dire injury upon Maester Seymour Guado, which, we did. We fucking killed him. That's about as dire as you could possibly be.
You killed him to death.
Death by killing.
Conspired with the Albed and joined in their insurrection. These are traitorous and unforgivable crimes that disturb the order of Yevon. Tell this court what possessed you to participate in such violence. And I should say that Seymour is here as well as Keenock, Kelk Ronzo, Maester Micah, and I think that's everybody here, right?
No jury in sight.
No, but our party is here, though.
Just people living in the moment, not a jury in sight.
She says, Yuna says, Your Grace, the real traitor is Maester Seymour.
He killed his father Jiskel with his own hands.
And, like, Kelk is surprised. He's like, whoa, what? Yeah. What you said? He says,
I'm not
what
wearing
is this?
a tie at all.
Well, we didn't win your case. Here's your pizza. But we did win the case. That's okay. The box is empty. But yeah, at this moment I was like, he's gonna be like, yeah, we know, like we told him to or something, and like I was kind of shocked that he's like, oh
yeah, I was shocked that Kelk was surprised by it.
Yeah,
because like Seymour has like the most fucking snarky ass thing to say. I hate him so much.
Yeah,
he just says,
Hadn't you heard?
And the way he says it, oh, you snotty little fuck.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
But Yuna says, not only that, Maester Seymour is already dead. And like Lulu chimes in and is like, it's a summoner's sacred duty to send the souls of the departed to the far plane. Yuna was only doing her job as a summoner. Yuna says, Grand Maester Micah, please send Seymour now. And like Kelk Ronzo backs up because he's clearly out of his element right now. This
is a really weird position because
I feel bad for him.
Yuna did not deny that she killed
Seymour.
It was like, yes, I did, and you're impeding my way to destroy the evidence. It's my duty. I must.
Yeah. But then we learned
He's like, I'm going to
fucking...
answer your question with another question. Let me send him.
Yeah. Move aside. Let me get this MF right here. But I like that she appeals to Maester Micah right here to be like, yo, this MF undead, send his ass. Like, you could do it right now. You could finish Seymour off right now. And Micah's
and
like...
Micah says, send the dead. And then he, like, goes translucent and starts glowing a little bit. And, like, it shows Yuna's face and she's, like, shocked. And he says,
you would have to send me, too.
I know, what? Maester Micah's also dead.
Yeah, Waka's like, what?
Ain't anybody in this goddamn cemetery dead?
Yeah, and then, like, I just had a moment of, like back in the day with Marvel Comics, there was this thing called Secret Invasion, where, like, I think it was, like, Elektra was the one who, like, first got, like, this big, like, earth-shattering thing happened where, like, Elektra died, and then it turned out that she was, like, the race of aliens that are shapeshifters called Skrulls, and then it was just like everyone was like, oh shit, there's a Skrull invasion, and literally anyone could be a Skrull. So now at this point I'm like, everyone could be fucking dead.
What if we're all dead?
And Kelk says, Grand Maester Micah is a wise leader. Even in death, he is invaluable to Spira.
Okay, I will say this, though.
Sure.
I had sympathy for Kelk, and now I take a little bit of my sympathy back.
Oh, yeah, for
I was
sure.
like, oh, dude's not in on the whole thing. Like, oh, he's just trying to do his job. And then you're like, well, no, he knows about Micah, though. So, like...
Yeah,
no, fuck that guy. He's complicit. Okay, go on.
One dead, too many.
Yeah.
Sometimes dead is better. But yeah, he said, enlightened rule by the dead is preferable to the misguided failures of the living. And Seymour chimes in and says, life is but a passing dream, but the death that follows is eternal. Micah says...
Merrily.
Micah says, men die, beasts die, trees die, even continents perish.
But rock and roll is forever.
Only the power of death truly commands in Spira. Resisting its power is futile. And that really made me think of, like, the Cosmo Canyon scene about, like, life and death in Final Fantasy VII. And I was like, oh, it's kind of that, but, like, extremely fucked up.
Yeah,
it's like the evil version of that.
Well, I do think, like, we talk about themes a lot of the games and stuff, and I think that line is a big theme of Final Fantasy X, that, like, everything about this game is about death. Like, everything is somehow. Which is like, oh, you could say everything in life is, but, like, it really is, though, in this game. Like, everything is based around, like, that, or reincarnation, or, like, looping over and over and over again, like, never escaping death, and, like, shit like that. And, like, it's very dark. And, like...
Sisyphusian.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, see, in Spira, it's a trickle-down economy where the dead are at the top, and their rule is good for them, but it will also trickle down and be good for the people who are living as well. So it's totally fine. Death. Yeah. It's totally fine for the dead to be the most respected and most powerful leaders among a world of the living. That's totally normal.
Right, yeah.
This is like a stage beyond a gerontocracy, or however you say it.
yeah, rule by the old. It's like a rule by the dead, a necrocracy.
yeah.
Eunice says, but what of sin? I am a summoner, my lord, like my father before me. I am on a pilgrimage to stop the death that sin brings.
Are you telling me that too is futile? Grand Maester Micah, I am not alone. All the people who have opposed sin, their battles, their sacrifices, were they all in vain?
So she's like giving her fucking epic triumph, her speech or whatever to him.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like Micah's somewhat, like, he's listening to what we're saying, right? Because he says, he's like, no, it's not in vain, like, it's important, right? He says, no matter how many summoners give their lives, sin cannot truly be defeated. Their rebirth cannot be stopped. Yet, the courage of those who fight give the people hope. There is nothing futile in the life and death of a summoner. And it was like, I feel like they're trying to make Micah a little bit more understandable here, and I guess he kind of is, because you're like, well, it's kind of fucked up, but, like, I see what he's trying to say, where he's like, yeah, you don't finish sin off, and, like, it's never ending, but, like, it does good for the people who are here now. So like,
yeah,
I guess he has his way.
To me, like, I get what he's saying, but to me it kind of like, the analogy that I can think of for this is it's like, well, if we pull all of the troops out of this like war zone area that we started, then every troop that died before them will die in vain. Like, it kind of reads to me like that, where it's like, no, this is like, we're kind of in control of this situation in a way that you didn't realize, but we're gonna keep it going, even though it is technically, by your definition of it, futile, like, but we're gonna keep doing it because otherwise, like, it gives people hope. So it's just very.
Let's not cancel student loans.
Yeah, that would be an insult to everyone who's paid student loans in the past. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think it's like, it's a pretty thin.
Giving
logic,
people
but
health care would be an insult to everyone who's ever died.
Yeah, no, it is pretty paper thin, but I do at least like that they like try to like give us a reason why he might feel this way or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Oren actually says,
never futile, but never ending.
Like, speaking of the cycle of death. And Micah says, indeed, that is the essence of Yevon. And like, Yuna's all upset. She's like, Lord Micah. Like, she's like real upset by him saying all this, which I probably would be too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Like, if I still went to church and the preacher was like, and we must kill everybody, I'd be like, bro. Like, I don't think that's right. Micah says, Yevon is embodied by eternal, unchanging continuity, Summoner. Those who question these truths, they are traitors. And then, like, Yuna's like, Lord Micah, and she gets, like, sent into the big hole.
Yeah.
Like, the fucking platform that she's on just, like, descends into the hole.
Yeah.
Aww.
Throw it to the hole.
There's probably, like, a Rancor in there.
Oh, that's right.
She gets thrown into the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a good place to call a quick break, because that's a lot of shit that we need to mull over in our head and kind of try and... I gotta make
room on my desk to unpack all this.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll be in jail.
Yeah.
Bye.
So we're in prison.
We're in prison.
We're in horny jail, finally.
Long time coming.
Titus is finally where he belongs.
Titus hasn't seen Yuna in like months at this point, so he was sent immediately to horny jail after getting to carry her for 2 seconds.
Yeah, right.
Yo, wouldn't it be wild if we came to this scene and everyone just had a fucking long ass beard and we have no idea how long it's been?
No
so
more.
Good.
Let Titus have a beard.
It's like, I don't know. They just gave me this thing when I came in here.
Waka's missing an arm. He's missing an arm, but he has like a robot arm.
Yo, that's cool.
God, I love a good fucking.
It's like, wait a
insane
second,
time
Waka.
jump.
I thought you hated Machina, and he's like, I had to do some things I'm not proud of. Okay, and then he cocks his robot arm like it's a shotgun.
Punished Waka. All right.
Titus is being very mature about being imprisoned in this like cage. It's like a cage that's being suspended.
Get me out of here! I want out now!
You hear me?
A lot better than Jekt was taking being in jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Jekt was just having a nap. He was just like, well, nap time.
Jekt was just hungover. He didn't even know he was in jail.
It's like, all right, what's next, buddy?
They were like, dude, you're in jail. He's like, yeah, I know. I thought I was supposed to tell you that I was in jail, so I'm kind of confused as why you're telling me.
You're trapped in here with me.
Yeah. But yeah, like you were saying though, like it's a bunch of like singular cells that are like suspended from the ceiling from chains, right?
That's pretty Dark Souls.
It's basically I was gonna say it's Sin's Fortress. Yeah.
Big
We're
Hat
in this
Logan's
one. Big Hat
there.
Logan's in the next one. Yeah.
Sin's Fortress.
Oh my God,
No,
Sin's
Sin's
Fortress. No.
We're through the looking glass.
Can't wait for Iron Tarkus to come break us out. Oren says,
You waste your breath.
And Titus like finally like chills out and slumps against the wall of the cage and says, "Man, I hope Yuna's okay." Orin says, "She's strong. She'll make it." And then like Titus is like, "She'll make it. So what? So she can die? Why is it that everything in Spira seems to revolve around people dying?" And like Orin's just like, the cycle of death, or the spiral of death. Sunrise, sunset.
Yo, it's like the stairs we went down. Slide.
It's like the goth version of The Circle of Life by Elton John.
Yeah.
Like that Tool song.
It's the spiral.
Yeah, it's just
the spiral of death.
It's just every Tool song. Wait, real quick, have you guys seen that video of there was like I think it might have just been on Instagram or something, but it was like a Tool cover band, and they were like, yeah, we actually are breaking out from just doing Tool covers and we're writing our own songs in Tool style. And it's like they're just playing Schism, and they're just like, the wizard's beard, and he's they're just singing Schism, but with like, the wizard has a cube, and they're just using like big words for no reason. It's so fucking funny. Alex, I'll send it to you to drop some of it in.
Okay.
I'm actually curious if it's the band I know personally.
It might be. It was one of the funniest things I've seen. And then they're like, okay, and we have this next one, and they have like very Tool sounding titles. And then they're like, okay, let's start it up. And they just start playing the same fucking riff.
So good. But yeah, so Orin says,
Summoners challenge the bringer of death, sin, and die doing so. Guardians give their lives to protect their summoner.
"The faith are the souls of the dead. Even the maesters of Yevon are unsent. Spira is full of death. Only sin is reborn, and then only to bring more death. It's a cycle of death, spiraling endlessly."
Wait,
and
it says Maesters of Yevon are unsent, but that kid said Seymour smells good. Well, I was trying to make a scent joke. Sorry.
Oh my god, I'm such a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I get it now. That's very good.
If you didn't get it, it's not good.
No, because I'm dumb as hell, so it's fine.
But like, so the screen very quickly like fades out and fades back in to the same scene, just to show us like an arbitrary passage of time in between that conversation.
Orin and Titus both have really long beards now. Waka has a robot arm.
But that little walkway that goes by all these like suspended cells, Keenock is now standing there, and he says, "Come out, your sentence has been decided." And Orin says, "Sentence, don't you mean an execution?" And Keenock says,
"Really now, what person would execute a dear friend?"
And I like Orin just goes, "You would."
You would, you fake ass friend.
You fucking fake friend. I'm leaving those in 2020, buddy.
Yeah, new year, new me.
And then
Keenock's just a clout shark.
So the scene shifts over to this other area that we've seen before.
Yeah, this is where Jecta was kept.
This is where Jecta was held in that cell. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that, but yeah, that's hell yeah.
Yeah.
I think, now that I think about it, because there's a pool of water now, I'm wondering if this is actually where because there's another scene with Keenock and Jack that looked like it might have been in this area as well.
Keenock and Orin, right? Yeah.
And I was like, these areas look a little too detailed to just be like throwaway scenes.
Yeah, I think this is like the same area that happened.
Another
in as well.
case of reused assets. Absolutely shameful on Square's part.
Cutting corners left and right.
How poetic for Titus to be executed in the same room that his dad was jailed in.
Yeah.
Nice.
Executed.
But yeah. So like, Titus is kind of like so in that room. There's against the wall is how would you describe it? Like it's the entrance to I don't know what to say.
It's a
how do you
diving
describe?
Board. It's like almost like a fountain, but it leads to the sewers.
Yeah. There's
pool.
a pool of water that is all along one side of this room, and the water is like several feet down, and there's like sharpened sticks pointing downward off the walls to keep somebody from trying to climb back up once they fall down, right?
Yeah, it's like a punji bit kind of thing, but
yeah.
Everyone's favorite Tony Hawk
I was gonna say
to avoid.
And so Titus is like standing at the edge of this pool or fountain, right? And like the armed guards all have their guns to his back. So I was like, dog, they're gonna just cap him in the back of the head and let his body fall into this pool. That's nuts.
Pretty metal. This game got real metal real quick.
Yeah. And one of the guards or monks says, looks like you're next.
Yeah.
And Titus is like, next for what?
Like an idiot till the very end. Just like facing down a firing squad, and they're like, "You're next." And he's like, "Next for what?"
Yeah,
Wait,
what are we doing?
Wait, what's happening?
Wait, what is this whole thing?
And the guard just shoves him into the water with his gun, like pushes him with the barrel of his gun.
Should have smacked him in the butt like Waka would have.
like they do like the ultimate form of, like, you know, like the trope is that like bad guys never check to see if the good guy is dead or not or whatever. This is the ultimate form of that, where they're like, no, get in the water, we're like pretty sure it'll be fine. Like we're pretty sure you'll die.
Most villains are squeamish.
It's a weird it's a weird choice on their part to be like, well, we have to kill these people, but in these, I guess they have these weird rule set of like, we need to give them a 0.1% chance that they can survive. So we're going to throw all of the ones who can breathe underwater into this water pit.
Right.
Everyone else is
all
going
of
to go
the ones who
somewhere
are
else.
like, all the ones who can swim or are star blitzball players. You know what would be
or
tough
an
for them?
Albed salvager, like
water. Yeah, putting them in the water seems like they'll really have a disadvantage there. Yeah.
Could be another spaceship down there.
It's a very, very odd choice. Yeah,
but Titus is like, where's everybody else? And the warrior was like, floating down there maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, we don't know. We don't fucking know. Not our problem.
Waka and Riku are down here, and Waka's even like, "Ooh, you made it!" Like, it's like,
I love this so much because he's not just like, "Oh, you made it." Like, they float up to each other and high five. They're like, "Yeah, we didn't get executed. Hell yeah, dude!"
It's acting like they got bunked together at camp.
This is gonna be the best vacation ever, dude.
Just bros swimming in the death pool. I love it.
Yeah, Waka suddenly ices Titus, and Titus has to chug a Smirnoff Ice. Titus, being the total lightweight that he is, immediately throws it all up, and Riku laughs at him.
Yeah.
Right now, by SR-71 is playing. Spring Break.
Titus says, "What's our sentence?" Waka says,
"Think they expect us to give up and die down here?"
And like agree with Titus.
Yeah.
He says that's a lame way to kill somebody. Indeed.
I really like that. That's kind of just the writers of this game being like, yeah, we're just going to call our own shit on ourselves.
Yeah, it's bullshit. We know.
Yeah.
What are you going to do about it? Keep playing, asshole. And I'm like, sure enough, here I am.
You've got my number.
Riku asks where Yuna is. Titus doesn't know. And Riku says, "I wonder if we should wait for her." And Titus says, "Let's wait at the exit." And Riku says, "If there is an exit."
Let all of us who can breathe easily underwater wait at the exit for our friend who cannot breathe underwater, presumably.
I like that Titus just assumes there's an exit.
I know, yeah.
It's like, we'll just wait at the exit. It's fine.
There's a lot of stretches on this section of gameplay.
Yeah, every prison has to have an exit.
We'll wait at the gift shop when she's done with it too. Well, you know.
We've only committed like treason. Like, I'm sure there's a way to get out of here.
Yeah, no big deal.
We're trying to commit double murder.
Yeah. We're trying to commit unmurder by sending the guy that we murdered.
Yeah. Necro murder.
It's like a refried bean. Then we get like a cutaway scene that's like, meanwhile, in the Temple of Shadows.
Meanwhile, elsewhere.
In the Legion of Doom headquarters.
Yeah. That's the word. This is back in the court of Yevon.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Maester Micah, Seymour, and Keenock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maester Micah says, how fares the Ronso Maester? And Seymour says,
it seems my father's murder troubles him.
And Micah says, ever the Ronso, hard-headed, hardly useful.
Which
is a fun saying, but it is kind of it's problematic.
Yeah, for sure.
He's like stupid Ronsos caring about fucking patricide.
Yeah.
we have since evolved past the need to be concerned about that.
Which is the name of the song that played in the court when we were on trial. I think it was called Patricide.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a good song.
Oh.
Not quite as good as the Chrono Trigger or Super Mario RPG trial songs, but
oh man,
was there a Super Mario RPG
I don't remember, but like the
I
Chrono
think there
Trigger
was.
one, holy cow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Seymour says, however, the summoning Yuna, daughter of the High Summoner Braska, in case you forgot, she may be some use to us alive. You know, typical villain shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep her alive. Micah says,
She has disturbed the order of Yevon. She cannot be allowed to live.
and Seymour's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, Seymour's like, I understand.
But let me do it.
Seymour's still like simping or whatever. He's like, no, we should keep Yuna alive. And you're like, get over it, Seymour. She doesn't like you.
Yeah.
I have this whole plan. We're supposed to be Unaleska and
Zayon,
and whatever. Yeah. Y and Z.
The Y to my Z. And I like Keenock says, let it go, Seymour. Like, thank you, Keenock. Damn. He says, no one thrown into the Via Purifico has ever survived.
Pretty dope
And
name.
Micah says, yet there is always a small chance that they might. Place guards at the exit. Kill anyone who emerge. And like, again, if you just can kill them,
why did you
you
not?
should just do that.
Yeah, a little clunky.
If they had like pets to feed, maybe like sharks,
maybe.
Yeah, like if it was like Dr. Evil, and he's like the sharks with the laser beams on their head need to eat. The Sahagin with the lasers.
with Lazaga.
Yeah, it's just like, dude, just fucking kill them. Like you've had them in your clutches for so fucking long. You've had
Why do
so
they even
many,
have an exit?
You said so many.
Why even
opportunities
have an
at this point.
exit? What?
Yeah.
I guess it's like a service. Like
This is in every other like Mission Impossible movie is like they escaped down into the sewage. Make sure you go and reach them when they come out. Like this was like they put them there and then they're going to the exit to reach them anyway. Like,
yeah. Like they didn't even discuss, because like they kept us in a holding cell for we don't know how long.
Yeah.
They had as much time as they wanted to discuss what to do with us.
And you would think, like, okay, well, if I'm trying to make sense of it, maybe they're a little squeamish about killing people, but like Seymour straight up murdered his father.
Yeah,
like, They're not shy about.
We don't know how
murder.
he did it. We could have known he'd have just put him in here as too.
Yeah, that's true.
Micah and Seymour are both literally dead. Like,
Yeah.
they should be fine with this.
They're like, we don't really want them to join our club, so we'll give them the chance to maybe not if they don't want to.
Right.
The cool dead guys club.
By the way, Via Purifico sounds like a Mars Volta song.
Oh,
holy shit, it does.
And it would be a good one.
I was gonna say it would fucking slap, and it would be like 13 minutes, and like there would be like a 2-minute break where you think the song is ending and it's an outro, and then it just gets fucking wild.
Oh, dude,
there's like crazy like reverb on the vocals when it comes back in.
Some
Is anybody
ring
there?
mod.
Much like this area.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once Micah says, kill anybody who emerges, Seymour says, sir, leave that to me. And Micah says, oh, first your father and now your bride? And Seymour says, allow me to do this because she is my bride.
Love
and, like,
and marriage, love and marriage.
I get what he's trying to put over on Micah here, whatever, like...
Send my wife, please.
Don't send my wife. Keenock says, wait, I'll go too. And Seymour says, what, you don't trust me? And Keenock says, would you trust a man who murdered his father? And I'm like, ooh, Keenock got 2 good burns in this conversation. I love it.
Seymour went to Keenock's house and spray painted on his garage door, stop emailing my wife.
I will say, like, so Keenock for me is like negative infinity points because he's just a dickweed and he looks like Bobby Hill.
Yeah.
But he's negative infinity +2 right now for 2 good burns on Seymour. I'll give him those.
Sure. Yeah,
he's
for
got
sure.
those.
But so my question is, he says, would you trust a man who murdered his father? But the topic that we're discussing is that same person who murdered their father murdering their wife.
Yeah.
So I don't. I get that Seymour is not to be trusted, obviously, but that's like a really shitty argument.
Yeah,
I can't trust the guy who killed one of the closest family members that he's ever had to
kill another close person.
Like. Okay,
yeah. Like, no, actually, if anybody would do
sentiment. I understand the sentiment.
He has like motivation for keeping her alive.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Versus killing her. He's more powerful with her.
So Via Purifico.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's fine.
I just dashed. I went straight ahead. I did not like doing it. I know there's exploring to be done in here, but I just I got no time. It's late. I don't want to fucking deal with this
Fair
shit.
enough. So
dungeons suck. I just want plot, baby.
Notably, before this happens, the screen does go black and someone says, "Lady Yuna, forgive me." I don't remember if we hear the voice.
I didn't get who it was either.
We do hear the voice. I have a suspicion of knowing who it is, which we'll find out later, but I wasn't sure if it was like Seymour saying that. But I think it's someone else.
I know who it is, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can talk about that in a little bit.
Okay. So as soon as we enter, we get a little some instructions from the game that says "to the condemned," which is an interesting way to give us a little tutorial. I like that instead of saying how to do this, it says "to the condemned." that's a nice touch.
To whom it may just send my next email. It's that.
As my previous email stated.
Yeah, when you send an email to somebody, you literally just write "to the condemned," and then start the email. Stone panels are scattered throughout the Via Purifico. Step on one to transport yourself to the next panel in the indicated direction. Nothing will happen if there is no panel to receive you at the far end. So, we're in a series of corridors and rooms that are kind of gridded together. And there's these panels we can step on. And if the arrow on one of the panels is very similar to the Cloister of Trials, where the arrow is kind of on a timer, face different directions. If you step on one when it's facing a direction where there is another platform, it'll send you to that one, and so you can kind of warp around real quick, which isn't immediately useful. I think because you don't really know where you can go. You can just kind of walk right through, like Alex was saying. You can just be fuck that, I'm just gonna go north, and you can do that. But
that's where the arrow says to go.
Yeah. But if we hang around down here a little longer, we can find some more stuff. But we start out and we're just Yuna,
people,
right? Yes. So we just have Yuna at first, right?
Which is pretty cool.
We can actually play as her. I wish we could have played as her in other parts of the game where she's always missing and actually grind her.
Right.
If only there was some sort of game that featured Yuna as the playable character in it, but alas.
Yeah, I think that
and she had a gun or two.
Or two, yeah. I think that I was wondering if maybe this section is to make up for some of her sphere levels. You know what I mean?
I think that would make sense.
Give you an opportunity to grind for a potential event coming up.
Yeah. Which, speaking of events coming up, when you get into a battle as Yuna, you pretty much have to summon, is what I found. She just can't output the damage. You gotta summon. When the summon calls, you gotta accept the charges.
I mean, we just got Bahamut, which
we just got motherfucking Bahamut, and let me tell you all, he fucking whips ass.
I think I named mine Bananas.
Oh, that's good.
I love that. But Bahamut's good as shit, though. He's
incredibly
really strong.
He always knows how to make an entrance.
Yeah, oh dude, his entrance is sick. He flies in from a fucking hellhole
pentagram in the sky.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a Yevon pentagram, so it's a holy one or whatever.
He's fucking buff too.
He's buff, and he's a dragon, but he stands there like a person.
He's standing like a guy.
He's standing like a guy. Dude, he stands like fucking Jotaro from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's so cool.
Arms crossed, yeah.
Arms crossed, looking down his shoulder at the enemy. That's badass.
It's all very colorful compared to the FF7 Bahamut.
Yeah.
Almost has kind of an Egyptian kind of color scheme going on.
Yeah.
He's doing the Gainax pose, which is in every Evangelion, Gunbuster. It's always just standing with your shoulders up real high and your arms crossed.
Yeah.
Like a genie.
Yeah, it's cool as hell. Not like a genie, not like I Dream of Genie, but I
was thinking Aladdin genie.
Oh,
dude, he's cool as shit, man. He's also got gold trim. He's just sick.
Yeah, he rules.
But yeah, his physical attacks were just all overkills. They're all just one hit KO overkills on all these enemies. I was just dude, Bahamut rules in this game.
Yeah, so he has a move called Impulse, which damages all enemies. And since it's Yuna versus multiple enemies in the random encounters that look pretty worrisome at first, I was just Impulse, overkill on all the enemies. I'm this is why even give me battles at this point.
Yeah. So that rules. That's what I advise doing, is summoning Bahamut the whole time. But while we're down here, we can find Kimari, Orin, and Lulu. And I found Kimari and Orin real fast and then ran around the dungeon multiple times looking for Lulu. I guess because she's just like wearing black against a black background and I just couldn't see her.
Yeah. I found Lulu first because she's just like right after you start, there's a save sphere. There's one of those teleportation panel things or whatever. And if you just go left, she's pretty much like 2 rooms over from there.
Yeah. Now, there is some good treasure down here. There's like, I got an elixir, a white magic sphere, a skill sphere. There's a lot of really cool stuff. And speaking of the skill sphere, so like there is a little, not a mini game, but there's like a little hidden thing you can kind of do down here. There are 2 of those platforms that aren't on the floor. They're like in rubble, like where like rooms have collapsed. And if you activate them, another platform will appear past a gate that you can't get past, and you can use the little teleportation pads to get over there, and you get a skill sphere and a lucid ring. So that's pretty cool.
And 10,000 gil, I think.
Oh yeah.
Which I did not do because I kind of ran around. I found all my party members. I got all the treasures that I thought were there. And then I immediately, like, they were like, we need to find our way out of here. And, like, I just walked down the hallway and then it, like, kicked me to the next area. And I was like, oh, well, that was easy.
Yeah. It's really not that bad. Once you get past the part with Yuna, it goes a lot faster, too, because you don't have to summon every single time. Because summoning does take time, but...
Yeah, which notably what I did was go into my settings and turn the Aeon thing to the short animation, which just shows like the second part of it, which is way quicker. And I was just like, cool, I don't have to watch those super long Aeon cutscenes again.
Yep, that's what I did as
wink.
well.
I did that way early.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we get to the end of this area. Like, there's really nothing else, I think, to talk about this area, right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay. So we get to the end of the area. And oh boy, Isaru's there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank goodness.
I know. Which makes me think, though, well, we'll get to it.
Was he also sent down here?
Well, wasn't he aboard our airship?
Did he grind down too?
Yeah, it makes me think that he was just like...
He could fly too, probably.
Well, like, he witnessed all the crazy shit that Yevon was doing to the Al Bhed or whatever, and like, has seen the fucking evil heart of Yevon, and then was like, oh, we're over Bevelle. I'll just get off the ship and go down there and hang out.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good idea. It seems like a terrible idea.
Yeah, he says, Lady Yuna, so it is you. And Yuna says, why are you here? And he goes on and says,
we rode the airship to the Calm Lands, then came to Bevelle. Maester Kinnock summoned us then, ordered us to deal with the traitors.
And Orin says, you will fight us? And Isaru goes on, the temple's orders are law. Even if you are Lord MF said Blaska. Even if you are Lord Braska's flesh and blood, you're a traitor. Lulu says, his guardians, I don't see them. And Isaru says, Maroda and Passe are not here. I will do this unhappy deed myself. Forgive me, Lady Yuna. And then we get thrown into a battle.
Yeah, so we're going to fight Isaru.
Yeah.
Which, like, Isaru, come on, dude. I thought you were cool.
Yeah, like, come on, dude.
After all we've been through.
Yeah, like, he seems like, obviously unhappy about it, but he's still very much indoctrinated into Yevon, despite, like, having clear evidence that he probably shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, he was part of the summoners being protected from the Guado, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, he was on the airship with us.
Yeah, the Al Bhed protected him from the Guado. They literally, like, sacrificed their lives for him.
Well, did the Guado know that all the summoners were being kept there? Or were they just trying to fuck up Al Bhed?
They were trying to get Yuna, I think, was the whole purpose.
Well, they already got Yuna.
That's why they went there. I mean, I'm sure while they were there, the Al Bhed were fighting against them.
I thought they said they found, like, Yuna in the desert, and then...
They grabbed Yuna back in the Sanubian desert.
Oh.
One of the Guado squads that attacked home found her.
Oh,
no, I think you're right about that. I think you're right about that.
Yeah.
Come on, Isaru. Like,
either way, like, Isaru was...
You could have been an empathizer, like, yes, please take me from these freaking sandblasted Yehud.
I guess his motivation is kind of just like, well, I saw a lot of shit that I didn't fully understand, and I was told by the people that I've trusted my entire life, and am told are infallible, that you guys are the traitors, so I'm going to have to just...
Whatever it takes to get on the good side of Yevon, I guess.
Yeah.
It's pretty weak, Isaru.
Real Waka energy here.
My first impulse was like, oh, did like Keenock or whatever like kidnap Maroda and Patsai and just like,
maybe yeah, but yeah,
like that.
Anyway, yeah. Freaking boo. But yeah, we get into a fight with Isaru, and it's like a Belgravine fight.
Battle.
Yeah,
it's a Pokemon battle. It's a straight up Pokemon battle.
Same rules.
But we've got like I think 4 summons to get through.
Yeah,
3. I think 3, right?
Oh, is it 3? Maybe.
Let me double check.
So the first one, the first one that he summons is Ifrit, and he says, "Your Aeon's against mine."
Yeah, you're right.
And then
it is 3.
I immediately summoned Bahamut and had no problem with Ifrit. While I was going through and fighting Ifrit, I got he used his like overdrive or whatever, the Hellfire thing, which did like 1,000 damage to Bahamut, which was like nothing. Bahamut got his overdrive, and then like I took down Ifrit, and then it shows Yuna again, and we get the glass breaking animation again and get thrown into another battle. This time he summons
I like to note though, did you notice the names of his summons?
Yeah, they're different.
He nicknamed them all.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, really? I missed that. That's cute.
So Ifra is named Grothia, like Grothia. His Valfor is named
Mittens.
Teria, like pterodactyl, but it's Teria.
Oh.
And then yes, he also summons a Bahamut after Valfor, which he named Spathy or Spathy.
Love that.
Spathi.
I didn't even notice that. That's very, very good.
I love that. That's awesome.
So I summoned Banana. This is weird because like this confuses me even more about sharing summons.
Yeah, if you can name them all different things, yeah.
Well, I call mine Bananas.
I summoned Shiva for the first one because I was like ice and fire, but like you take more damage from fire, so she was taking a lot of damage. I still won. Like I still was able to pull it off because I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna let this MF use his fucking super move, but I'll just use a shield and then I'll just tear into him. So it wasn't that bad. And then I used Ixion versus Veil 4, and then I used Shiva again for the Bahamut one.
Yeah, I think I followed a guide to kind of help me through this because like this is gonna be like I hate Aeon v Aeon fights.
Yeah. They're kind of
they can be really tedious and or just frustrating.
Sure.
Because you can't really heal them or anything. But yeah, I used Bahamut for the Val 4 and used Mega Flare, which just one hit KOs.
I did that just because I had the overdrive set up, and I'm like, okay, I'm guessing that eventually he's going to use Bahamut, so I should probably use this before. Like, I don't feel like dealing with Valfor maybe pushing back my turn and just, like, destroying me with, like, the strats that I use with Valfor. So I just use the, what's the name of the overdrive? It's, Mega Flare. Duh.
Dude, Mega Flare will tear an MF up.
Yeah, it literally did 19,000 damage and overkilled.
Yeah, Bahamut can break the damage limit.
Whoa.
5 digits, baby.
Oh, yeah.
And then for the final one, fighting Bahamut, I used Ixion. And put shield up and kind of built his overdrive or her overdrive. I don't know what the gender of Ixion.
Good strats, baby.
Love it. Yeah, for Bahamut, I just used Shiva, just because I was like, whatever.
The reason I used Shiva and Ixion was because you can cast their elemental magic on themselves and heal. So I was like, well, that way I at least have a method of healing if things go south.
So I didn't even think of that. I just got to the fight against Bahamut and kept using Blizzaga with Shiva, and while he was doing his countdown and getting really menacing looking, and each time his countdown lowers a little bit, he gets into a rage pose, like he's about to fuck you up, and I'm like, oh my god,
really
it's
cool.
really stressful. And then he got to countdown 3, and I did Blizzaga again to do 4,500 damage.
Boom.
And I got an overkill, and I was just like, oh, that was fine.
Yeah, that was easy. Oh, I did use Blizzara on Bahamut. I guess I did Shiva on Bahamut as well.
Yeah. I feel like it makes sense. It's the summon you got last, so...
Yeah.
I got an overkill right when his countdown was at 1.
Ooh, nice.
I was like, ooh!
Yeah, I was just like, DPS, let's go.
Yeah, so once we beat him, he's like on the ground, he's propping himself up on his elbows, and Yuna walks up to him, and Isaru says, stay away! He's all scared of us, which he should be.
Goddamn right.
Lulu says... got the power of anime and God on my side.
Lulu says, Yuna, let's go. And Isaru tells us there's a way to the surface up ahead. And Yuna bows, and fucking Orin just walks up to Isaru and just says,
"Your pilgrimage is over."
Ah, omae wa mou shinderu. Your pilgrimage is already over.
Yada da da da. Bim bim bim.
It's the motherfucking AURON.
A little joint just like floats down and.
God. For me, it reminded me of Metal Gear Revengeance, and just fucking that one screenshot of like Raiden saying, "Your memes end here."
But right after that, it immediately goes right over to giving us control of Titus. We immediately have control of him, and we're in like
in a wet place.
In a wet place, yeah, we're in like underwater corridors, right? Like big mechanical corridors.
Yeah.
And there's only one way to, like, it's not a maze or anything. There's only one direction to go.
Yeah, it's almost like a subway tunnel, but it's
full of
everything turns to right angles, and yeah, it's just about the size of a subway tunnel.
Yeah,
very well lit.
Yeah. I like this area actually. I like the design of it. Like it feels very mechanical in a way that like nothing in Final Fantasy X has been.
Yeah.
Like I guess we've only done 7 and 1, but like Final Fantasy always has great like mechanical areas, and this game has just not had them until this point. So like I enjoyed seeing this.
It's Machina, baby.
It's Machina, baby. I like that there's just a floating treasure chest though immediately to our right, and I was like
going up and down. I forgot how hard it is to go up and down.
Yeah, you do that.
Same.
But I was like, ooh, a treasure chest. Let me get whatever item is inside of this treasure chest. And when you press the confirm button on it, it just takes you into a shop menu.
It is a vending machine.
It is a vending machine. Because I was like, at first I was like, why do I have to pay for it? It's just a treasure chest. Just open it and take it.
Who put this down here and for what purpose?
Owaka set up fucking like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, this is Owaka's mimic.
Yeah.
I would have rather have Owaka in like a scuba outfit.
God,
just swimming down here.
Yeah, but this is essentially just Owaka. It's the Al Bed kind of treasure chest that we've seen before. It's using that
the
model.
mechanical ones.
Yeah, and floating across from that is a save sphere, which I would recommend probably saving. Did you guys buy anything from it? It's basically just like high potions, and all of that. But there are for 100 gil each. Power, mana, speed, and ability distillers, and I saw that price tag and I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and just guess that I can use these to mix. I'm gonna buy 50 of each of them. So
yeah, fair enough. That's not a bad idea. So we get some new encounters down here because everything's swimming, and we have like our 3 characters who actually have the ability to fight underwater.
Yeah.
So there are the Sahagin, which we've seen, but there's also octopuses, I think.
Octopi.
I think it's octopuses.
That's what they call them here?
No. I think that's the official word for it.
Octopus, plural.
I gotta look it up. Make sure I'm not crazy.
Grammatically speaking, the plural for octopus is octopuses. I guess you're correct.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Merriam-Webster.
Yeah, what a fucking coward.
Yeah. I know, that always blows my mind every time I hear that. I'm always like, what? Octopuses is the correct one. That's crazy.
Anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Well, I learned something today.
There's also remoras here as well.
I don't think I saw any remoras.
Yeah, they're just like they're just little fish creatures. They have let's see here, 3,000 HP. They're weak to lightning. A lot of stuff down here is weak to lightning. So if you have like those electro marbles, like good time for Riku to use some items here.
Hell yeah. You can steal stuff from them, or like mug from them. It's dragon scales, and I think also
I got mug here.
Yeah, and water gems. I think it's pretty good.
Have we ever talked about mug? I guess we did in FF7, but like
I think Carl mentioned it once. It basically just does a physical attack while stealing, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
So you just do like 100 damage with the steal command, essentially, which is nice. I think it also costs MP though. I think it's like 10 MP. So.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, on these,
not getting a lot of encounters.
Yeah, on these enemies, I didn't really see much benefit to using mug because like you can do so much more damage with like it would make kind of just more sense to just use steel. But I'm like, any damage is good damage.
Yeah.
Oh, the Remora are really scary. They're like they're like fish. They're like a basically Sahagin, but they have a dragon head.
Oh my god,
that's really silly.
But so we go down these corridors, right? And I think there's 2 or 3 of them. They remind me of silos. Again, big cylinders, right? That you can't see the bottom of or the top of because they extend so far. But when we go over the first one, is it the first? Yeah, it's the first one. We get into a boss battle. And it's just Evray, but underwater this time.
But he's blue.
And like it's literally called Evray Altana. So I was like, oh, they just have one for the water and they have one for the air. That's nice. A little backup.
I thought it was because of what will become apparent later is that this is a zombie enemy.
Yes.
And so I was thinking like, did the one we killed just get sucked up into the sewer system in Bevelle?
Yeah, that's where it landed. Yeah, it didn't.
There's
land
like all
on
these
Han's
like wind
Woolman.
turbines that suck together all the pyreflies, and it just like reconstituted on the other side. I mean, I guess maybe.
That's the take I had for it.
Really?
Did yours have darkened enabled when you encountered it?
It had the effect for it, which I was confused by.
Oh yeah, I see that.
I used dark on the original Evray. I'm like, did it just is this still an effect from last time? Like I was like really excited, like, oh my gosh, you can like.
I didn't use dark on it. Oh, you know what? When you're zombied, you also have that black cloud in your face too.
It's just a cool effect, I guess.
Yeah. Which, hey, this enemy is zombied.
Which it took me a while to realize until like the very end. Like, oh wait, I remember FF7.
It took me my first input to realize.
Well, what was that enemy in FF7? Gil Natak. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Natak. Yeah.
The
boss fight before we met
Seto.
Anaki's dad.
Seto.
Yeah. Seto Kaiba.
So, how much research did any of us do on this boss?
I did some.
None.
I did some immediately after you said, hey, I hope you guys did more research than I did. Because notably, when you start this fight, aside from seeing the zombie effect or whatever and finding out that he is a zombie, you have a trigger command that you can do to open a gate with Titus.
Right.
So you can go farther into the sewer. So there's two latches on each gate that allows you to kind of get some distance between you and the zombie Evray.
Which I guess is kind of like the underwater equivalent to having Sid move the ship away and avoid attacks and things like that.
I like how intense that is, though. Like, the idea that, like, oh shit, we gotta get away from this thing, and you have to, like, open these latches on this gate to get distance in between you. Like, that's intense.
It's a really cool gimmick. I didn't get a chance to use it. And I didn't try it, but apparently, according to the fandom, going through the gates is not recommended as it isolates the party from the next save sphere and item chests containing items that we're about to get. So
I realized that real quick.
I didn't do that because I saw a zombie, and I do what I do anytime in a Final Fantasy game, and when I see a zombie, and I think, okay, I'm going to use Phoenix Down and see if it works.
And it sure as fuck does.
It is immune to like a one-hit kill from Phoenix Down, so it doesn't kill it, but it does half of its HP. So you use two. You use two, and you kill it with no problem.
So, like, what attacks does it have? The world may never know. But
I'm sure they're probably pretty bad if they have this whole gimmick around, like...
Actually, yeah, so I didn't realize this. So there are, I think, 3 gates you can get through. So after the 3rd gate, you can sneak in, and then I think Evray is trapped on their side, so there's no more pursuing happening.
Got you.
And during that, he cast Stone Gaze, and Riku sank.
Oh.
So I lost Riku.
There is, I should mention that it did get a hit in. It used Stone Gaze on Waka. Waka started to sink and then shattered, like Thanos just like snapped him out of existence. And I was just like, well, Waka's dead. That sucks, I guess. I've kind of already come to peace with him. He's been dead to me for a while, so yeah.
His redemption arc is over.
Yeah.
Only
pulling a real Tony Stark.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, so only Riku and Titus got experience from this fight, but I was like, it wasn't.
Oh no.
It wasn't too much that I was like, it's like, okay, I'll have to grind like 5 enemies with Waka.
Yeah. No, that's fair. You know what? I'm looking at the experience I got, and it's not that much either. So
he can also use photon spray still.
Oh wow.
That motherfucker.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
But so after the battle, we can continue the rest of the way down. We can get a weapon for Titus called the Avenger.
Hell yeah!
And
damn it!
No,
that's the one. I guess I gotta redo that fight now.
Yeah, I might redo this section and do the teleport part again anyway, just so I can get the items there. But because I think I also missed a black magic sphere that you can get just in the main area of the first part of the wherever the fuck we are.
And then we can also get the rematch, which I believe is a weapon for Waka.
It is, and I went to go and try and find where that was, which took a shit ton of scrolling down for me, where it was just like beep, 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 beep. I was like, oh my god, this is taking so long.
Oh, you know what? We're right about the point in the game. Now, I remembered, because I've played this game a couple times, like, I remembered that this is around where this happens. There is a limited inventory space, just FYI. So,
shit.
Might be a decent time to go ahead and start selling some things. Because, like, right around in here is usually where I start, like, being like, God damn it, I never have room for anything.
Yeah, so the rematch, it's only got one slot, but it has evade and counter, which is pretty good for Waka, I guess. Yeah, you can, seems like a pretty good item to have. What does the Avenger do? I'm guessing...
Ability is either counterattack or evade and counter.
I'm guessing the rematch is probably the same, where it either has counterattack or evade and counter, so... Evade and counter seems like it's the better one because you don't take damage and then you counterattack, but I don't know. There's probably a give and take there. Who cares?
Yeah, and then that's literally the end of that section. There's really nothing else. We just swim to the end of the hallway, and then we're just magically on that bridge that leads out of Bevelle.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows how we got out of here?
Yep.
Who fucking knows? Everybody's just on the bridge now.
Yeah,
good enough.
The gang is all together once again.
Yep. It was a very weird section of game there.
Who
knows
weird.
how Bevelle's laid out?
So yeah, we talked about it for a good while now. But it was literally like maybe 10 minutes worth of like actually playing. Yeah, I mean, the cutscenes were awesome. The story beats were really cool.
Well, not counting the fucking Cloister.
No, I mean also with the in terms of what you have to do in the Cloister, if you get it right first try and do it, it could take you like 3 minutes, but because you're constantly on this fucking auto scroller and shit, like,
it took me like half an hour.
It took me over an hour.
I did it with the notes and it still took me like half an hour. I was just like, Jesus.
I did it once to completion and then like was punished for going into a room before like turning around and trying to get a treasure chest. And I do want to talk about this. The reason I didn't go and get the other treasure chest is because you need to have a sphere to control the platform, and you also need to be holding a sphere.
Yeah.
So that you can activate the platform to go like literally like 2 little like platform lengths to get to the fucking chest.
Yeah,
and I didn't bring a sphere, and I was like, well, I just spent a half an hour going through this fucking cycle. Let me just see if there's anything else ahead before I have to backtrack and go through all of this again. And I couldn't, so I was just like, well, I got to start completely over again.
Yeah.
So fuck that Cloister. All my homies hate that Cloister.
So we got to it. We just did a new area, right? So let's continue along with our rating system. What do we rate Bevelle?
0 out of 10. Everyone here sucks. Full of clout sharks and fake friends.
Wish I had a chance to like see the sights.
Yeah, I wish we had a chance to see the sights or go to shops or do fucking anything.
Well, we haven't left yet, baby.
That's true.
Yeah. I feel the way I feel about Bevelle is the same way I feel about Chicago, in that I was pretty excited to get there because I've heard a lot about it. I was playing a show in Chicago, and the only time I spent there was in traffic to get into the city, at the bar that I was playing the show, and then immediately going to the next city on tour. So I really wanted to see more of it, but I didn't get to, so.
You gotta get that deep dish on.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this section of the game I really enjoy. Aside from like the really weirdly paced gameplay, I really liked everything about this because the story is so cool.
Yeah. So before we leave off, there's one more scene before we're allowed to save. So we'll get that out of the way so y'all can save if you're playing along with us at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody meets up on the bridge. This is the big long bridge that heads out of Bevelle that we could see from the cutscenes earlier, right?
We're out of here.
Perhaps there will be some sort of battle on this big bridge.
Riku runs up and gives Yuna a hug and says, "Oh my god, Yuni, you're all right. We were so worried. It's good to have you back." And she's like, "Oh, thank you." And like Titus tries to find the words to say because he's like, "Ooh, the girl that I like," but he can't say them. So like,
it's pretty cute.
But on one end of the bridge, there's just like cool rock show fog machines going off. And like Seymour and a bunch of like Guado walk out of the fog. And
oh my god, it's Seymour with the steel chair.
And one of the Guado is literally just holding up like a dead body, and it's fucking Maester Keenock.
So I didn't even notice that until he dropped him.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just like walking and proceeding forward with his head kind of bowed, like
true.
Which doesn't seem
Ruh-roh.
out of character for him, I guess, because he's like a priest or whatever. And then like they just meet face to face, and the one Guado just fucking drops Keenock, and Keenock is dead as shit.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh,
Man, this fucking initiation ceremony is fucking wild. He just gotta get killed.
this is the wedding reception. Like this is this is crazy.
Everyone's
shit.
fucking dead at the end of it.
And like Orin says Keenock, and like I guess like Keenock was Orin's like closest friend at one point, so like that's gotta be conflicting to be like, yo, fuck this guy, but also holy shit.
Yeah.
Man, people change, you know.
And then like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put my cards out here on the table. I have played this game multiple times. I don't know what Seymour's on about ever, and I still haven't figured it out. And I'm hoping that like in doing the podcast, you guys can bring me some like some like insight on like what the fuck his deal is.
He's crazy.
Yeah.
Taya says, "Why you?" You know.
Yeah,
Yes.
regarding Keenock being dead, and Seymour just says,
Yeah.
I have saved him. He was a man who craved power, and great power he had, but he feared losing it, and with great power comes great responsibility. Oh no, I'm getting mugged, and now I'm dead. I was trying to pick up my grandson, or my nephew, Peter Parker, from the wrestling thing that he went to.
Titus says, I am going to become the Spider-Man.
But he says,
Trembling at unseen enemies, he spent his days scheming petty schemes, chased by his fears, never knowing rest.
yada yada, you see, now he has no worries. He has been granted sleep eternal. Death is a sweet slumber. All the pain of life is gently swept away. Ah, yes. So you see, if all life were to end in Spira, all suffering would end too, don't you see?
Meditation tape sucks.
Do you not agree? That,
Weak.
Yuna, is why I need you. Come, Lady Yuna. Come, Lady Yuna. You're my Lady Yuna. Yuna, lady. Come with me to Xanarkand, the lost city of the dead. With death on our side, we will save Spira, and for this...
I will take from you your strength, Yuna, your life, and become the next Sin. I will destroy Spira. I will save it.
Shut the fuck up,
You fucking
Seymour.
dork, shut up.
You dork. You sound like such a fucking lame loser right now. Like, you don't even
Yeah.
sound cool. Like, you know who was also fucking, like, insane?
Smartest people I know say Sephiroth pooped out his doo-doo ass.
Yeah. I was gonna say, like...
Why is incels always gotta use real flowery text to, like...
Well, I was gonna say, like, you know who also was just, like, fucking, like, off their rocker was Sephiroth. And you know what he said? Nothing.
Yeah.
He was just like...
He said, I'm gonna go see my mom.
He's like, I'm gonna go hang out with my mom. And that was 10 times more menacing than everything that fucking Seymour just said.
Yeah, because like with Sephiroth, it was more so like, oh, I am actually like the sole inheritor of this planet. Everyone else is beneath me, and I can I have this plan to like destroy it all so that I can become even more powerful and become a god. And you're like, okay. I get
he had
that
a
line of
genuine
thinking.
self-serving thing where he was like, no, I'm the shit and you suck ass. And you're like, okay, well, he's just a dick. But like
Yeah,
Seymour's deal is like, fuck Seymour, dude. That's so dumb.
I guess my take on this is that, like, with the whole scene that we
Who
just
radicalized
had with this whole scene of like the cycle of death and everything in Spira revolves around death, and like it's kind of like a death cult. Like we just learned that Yevon is kind of a death cult. It's literally run by people who are dead. I guess Seymour's whole thing is like, okay, well, Yevon knows all of this, or like the people who worship Yevon know all this about the death, and like the cycle is going to continue because like it gives them hope to fight against it, even though it's futile. So the cycle, and I think Seymour's just kind of like, no, this is actually futile, and I will save everyone by ushering in death and becoming Sin, and just actually wiping out everyone so that they don't have to worry about Sin anymore. Like instead of getting to the root of the problem of just being like, well, what if no sin? What if sin equals no, and then everyone be happy? Instead, he's like, no, sin is always going to be there. I am going to become Sin, and I'm going to kill everyone so no one has to worry about me, Sin.
Don't normalize sin.
Yeah. Like, don't like it? Vote. But yeah, no, I guess that's my take on it. It's it's a really shitty motivation.
Now I am become death, destroyer of worlds.
Don't you understand, Titus? I'm not locked in here with you. You're locked in here with me. What a dweeb.
Titus says, "You're totally nuts," and then Kimahri does the coolest thing in the whole fucking game. It's awesome.
He just goes literally for the throat.
Dude, he doesn't say a fucking word. Kimahri, like, after Titus says, "You're totally nuts," like, Kamari's like, you don't assume that he's gonna do something crazy, because he's like usually so like collected.
Yeah.
Doesn't say anything, just fucking whips out his spear and stabs Seymour like right in the base of the throat. Just lodges
halberd
his spear
in your neck.
Yeah, whoop. Like, it was, dude, when I saw
something there,
I was like, that's fucking badass. It had like a weird like Tarantino-y, like out of nowhere vibe to it, like.
It's in the bone.
It would be pretty kick-ass if Kimahri said some like super corny 80s action line about it, and he's like, "Why don't we get to the point?" And then like like stabs him in the neck. Seymour actually has a really kick-ass like response to this. Obviously he's dead.
Yeah.
Obviously he's super powerful. This halberd's not going to kill him. He just has it in his fucking like neck or like chest or whatever, and he just says,
"That's why he doesn't sternum really."
Yeah, he just says,
"Unpleasant. Very well. I will give you your death. You seem to want it so."
And then
I love the delivery of that line.
Very good.
Who voice acted Seymour? Fucking props to them for that line. That is incredible.
I believe it was Lance Bass.
Alex
Fernandez, fantastic job on that line. Very good.
He takes out his staff and he, I guess, like sends is what he's doing.
I guess, yeah. He like,
because everyone around him just becomes pyreflies.
Yeah,
now I am become pyreflies.
Yeah, like Keenock's body and the still living Guado just become fireflies.
Yeah,
so,
which I guess,
does that imply that they're already dead, or did he just do like kind of a two moves of one stone kind of thing?
There's two terrifying possibilities here.
Yeah.
One, they were all dead. Two, Seymour has learned how to skip a crucial step.
Whichever
he killed
one,
his ass in the next week.
Whichever one makes it less hard to sleep at night, that is the one that we will go with.
But he so I think the thing that Seymour can just do now is he can just send a still living person and then absorb their fucking fireflies instead of like sending them to the far plane.
Yeah.
Like an absolute fucking mad lad.
That's just rude.
Yeah, so then he absorbs them all, and he
gets real wild.
Yeah, he transforms into a super Final Fantasy looking ass creature, and it's or not creature, just like character model, and it's cool as shit.
Carl, have you beaten 9?
No, I got to the very end of it. I think I got to the last disc and then like fell off it.
Okay, well,
what is it with Final Fantasy bosses and like limiting actual like movement?
Yeah,
it just seems like all the designs like, well, now I can't use the bathroom anymore.
His hair becomes like a giant stone, like cool, very ornate, like tombstone.
Yeah, and it is the size of his whole body too. And he's like floating off the ground.
Oh, they are almost like wings though. If like from behind, it's kind of cool.
He looks like a an Ultraman villain or something, like a kaiju of some sort, like a humanoid kaiju.
They're like the wings that attach to the back of your Gundam.
Yeah.
Importantly, Kimahri's halberd is still just jammed in him too. He's just still got it lodged up in there.
Oh, really?
All up in
him.
Yeah,
from the next
screenshot
scene you can see. Yeah.
Yeah, the screenshot that I have after that is Kimahri is still holding it, but Seymour has like ascended past it.
Oh, true. Yeah, you're right.
Now he's got it pointed directly at dick level.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, yeah. My mistake.
Assuming that Seymour still has a dick. Or he ever had a dick. We don't know.
Yeah, and he's wearing a t-shirt with an arrow pointing down that says, "Send this."
Now available on the every FNFF store.
But Kimahri is still like squared up to this like safer Sephiroth ass like Seymour, and he just turns around while holding the halberd up and he says,
"Run! Protect Yuna!"
And Auron says, "Go!" And Titus is like, "No way, I'm fighting." And Auron just takes out his fucking sword and puts it up to Titus and he said, "I said go."
Yeah.
And then like everyone just kind of runs away to leave Kimahri there.
Yeah.
Titus gives out a really weird scream.
I love this so much. It's so fucking stupid and funny. Because it, obviously like Situation's tense. Things are getting real. It cuts to the next scene, and Titus is just like, oh!
Yeah. So I will say, okay, well, and this is the last part of the scene, right?
Yeah.
So now, like, the characters have automatically run all the way to the other end of the bridge. And it's pretty long, but we finally get to the end, and there's some like really interesting voice acting here, which again I think is because of the limited amount of time that they have to voice these lines.
Sure.
But
yeah, they ran about like 100 yards, I feel like.
Yeah. And eventually Yuna stops and says,
I won't leave Kamari behind.
Oren says, he's a guardian, protecting you is everything. And she like yells at him. She's like, Oren! And Titus says, that's right, we're all guardians. And you know what that means? Yuna, anywhere you go, I'll follow. And then she really quickly says, anywhere I go? And he's like, anywhere you go. Like, it's such a weird back and forth. I love it.
Anywhere I go?
Yeah, anywhere.
It's very comical. Anywhere you go, I'll follow. Anywhere I go, anywhere you go.
It is with the weird,
almost a musical.
Yeah.
I feel like this is about to turn into a song.
Yes, sir. There's nothing on earth like a genuine, fortified.
You remind me of a girl of the power. Power voodoo.
Machina. I heard those things are awfully loud. It glides as softly as a cloud. Strife. But yeah, she says, well then, and then they both look at each other and say, let's go, and they run and
in unison, very cute, like all symmetrically.
It's a very cute scene if you don't think about like the delivery, the goofy delivery of it.
Yeah.
We're in sync right now. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Like let's do this.
Even with the goofiness of it, it's very like posy, where you're like, yeah, I'm gonna kick this MF's ass. I'm gonna whip
let's
Seymour.
fucking get him.
Yeah.
And Titus says, hey, Kamari, leave some for us. And then Waka follows suit and he says, hey, wait for me. And Riku goes, me too. Lulu's just like, I'll go too. And then Oren like is standing there like, you can tell he's a little fucking annoyed, but doesn't he like laugh a little bit?
He laughs, yeah.
He laughs and he's like, all right, let's go fucking kill this MF.
Yeah. Him and Lulu are like the mom and dad of the crew.
Yeah, I like that Waka's come around. We're like, just a little while ago, oh, we're fighting a fucking maester, but now you just can't get enough of killing maesters, can you?
Yeah, he's got a taste for it. He's got a taste for meat now.
Waka just can't get enough of killing maesters now, man.
Yeah, don't knock it till you try
I'm
it.
evil now.
Hey guys, nice to meet you. It's been a long time since I've seen you. I'm evil now.
So yeah, there's a save point here, and that's where we'll leave it for this week.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Owaka next time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, should we talk to Owaka really quick? Yeah, because comically, Owaka is just standing directly across from the save sphere. I forgot about that.
Yeah, Owaka just says, "You're quite popular these days, eh? Anything you want, I got it."
Yeah, and he literally...
Traitor or no, Lady Yuna's always been a friend to Owaka.
I do like that. That's
yeah, that
cute.
is cool, yeah.
Noticeably, he has the exact same inventory as that vending machine that we found underwater. Confirming that was just him setting that up.
I think that was his dead drop. He like just threw his inventory into the water to smuggle it into Bevelle.
And I feel like canonically, as far as the game plot goes, this is a good time to play some Blitzball.
Yeah. Can we?
We still can. We can. Yeah.
God damn it. I got excited for a second.
It's not sanctioned by Yevon.
Like Kamari's over there like fighting Seymour. I'm like, you know what would really hype me up right now? Just a good victory against the fucking against the Sykes.
Those goddamn goers are finally going down.
Yeah.
Check in with my boys.
What was the fucking jerk ass goer, the main one, the leader?
Bixen.
Yeah, Bixen.
Bixen would know what to say to fucking Seymour. I go get to a game against Bixen. I'm like, yo, I'm fighting this dude. What should I say to him? Like, you know how to get under people's skin.
You send me?
Yeah.
Send me to bed, maybe. Snoozers.
I wish Seymour would see a little less. Am I right, fellas?
Then he casts darkness on him. Got him.
Got him. Anyway, that's the end of that episode of the Every FNFF podcast. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a review. You have reached the end of this side of the Every FNFF podcast. Please turn the tape over.
Would you like to play again? You have selected no.
The pod is in parking lot.
Yeah, that's shit's getting wild. I'm guessing we're just gonna fucking kill Seymour and then that's it, right?
Yeah, kill Seymour and then that's it.
Getting ready for
finally
credits.
done with
Let's go, dude.
Yeah. Well, are we ready for our outro?
Nothing really coming up. Carl, your speed run this morning was amazing.
I can't believe
world
that
record. I can't
got
believe
world
it.
record. I shadowed it by 5 minutes, which I didn't even realize was possible.
Well, except for our friends who are listening to this when it drops at midnight, then you still have time to go watch him probably at like, I don't know, 8 or 9 p.m. in the morning.
Exactly. To see me get this earth-shattering world record. Where also Henry Winkler shows up in the stream as the Fonz and says, "Hey, Carl, you're pretty cool," and gives me a cool thumbs up. It was a wild time.
Do you have another speedrun coming up?
I do, actually. For Dwelling of Duels bonus stage, I am going to be doing Dark Souls. Hopefully I remember how to play it. I haven't had too much time to practice it, so it's a pretty generous estimate. So
it's like riding a bike, Carl. You fuck up, you die.
Yeah, exactly.
What route are you taking, Carl? You gonna take the new route?
I am going to be taking the new route. Yeah, it actually it saves enough time off of it to make me feel comfortable in running it, even though I haven't been super practicing. I get to showcase it a little more, and I'm kind of going to be treating this one more as like a showcase because it's not a full-on like speed running event. So I'm just kind of showing everyone who's in the video game music scene the Dark Souls run that I do, and it should be pretty funny because I'll probably fuck it up a bunch.
It'll be fun.
Yeah. It'll be fun. I'll be showing off some glitches and kind of explaining it all and stuff. So yeah, that's going to be at, I believe, 5 p.m. EST on the Bonus Stage Van Twitch channel for the Dwelling of the Duels listening party.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's the 9th, tomorrow, basically the day after this comes out.
Yeah. Saturday the 9th.
Cool. Check it if you missed and watch the VOD for the GDQ run.
Hell yeah.
Check it. All right, Alex, throw us into a oddly accessible water pit underneath Bevelle.
An aqueduct of death.
Thanks to Neither Round for the theme music. Check them out on Twitch. They are currently streaming Final Fantasy VII. They said earlier this episode they got their golden chocobo.
GG's.
And they are also streaming Final Fantasy VIII, which I think they stream that on Saturdays. So go check them out to keep them some company. It's been really fun just hanging out in there.
They're streaming the best one.
Yeah. I think they're still doing 7 on Thursdays. Thank you to Nobuo Uematsu, Masashi Hamauzo, and Junya Nakano for the game music. Leave us a review on iTunes. It always helps. If you do leave a review, tell us why the hell we're trending in Germany and Norway. I'm really curious, like, if we have listeners in Europe.
Yo, hell yeah.
It'd be cool to hear from y'all. Call us at 530-MATERIA or find us at every FNFF. We have a Discord again. You can go join that via our Twitter bio. And your podcast is over.